It's not often that a team is able to obtain a superstar level player, whether it be through the draft, via a trade, or free agency. And for the Chicago Bulls, getting a superstar has not been an easy task. Really, the last bona fide superstar the Bulls had since Michael Jordan was Derrick Rose, and obviously his superstardom was short-lived due to injuries. And ever since then, there has always been this hope that the Bulls would have an outside chance at landing a top 10 player in the league, whether it be LeBron James or Dwayne Wade in 2010, Carmelo Anthony in 2015, although I don't know if we can consider him a superstar by that point, to more recently Kawhi Leonard, even Giannis Antetokounmpo before he signed his 5-year Supermax extension with the Milwaukee Bucks. And despite the Bulls recently being able to acquire star-level talent, the best players in the league have never expressed an interest in wanting to play for the Chicago Bulls. That is until now, when you had arguably the best player in the league say this.
I think anybody who asks that question that plays basketball, if he said no, he'd be a liar. You know, it's a team that won multiple championships. It's a team that one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player to ever play this game, played for. So it's a no-brainer. Everybody would love to play for Chicago. Down the line, you never know. You never know how life brings it. Maybe I play for Chicago, but right now I'm committed to Milwaukee.
And because of those words from Giannis, you had Bulls Nation in a frenzy within a matter of hours. Giannis jersey photoshopping was in full effect, people shouting we were getting Giannis. You got people wanting to customize Bulls jerseys with his name on the back, and yet all he said was, maybe one day I'll play for Chicago. So we shouldn't overreact, but we're going to, because that's what Bulls fans do, myself included. Now, as most of you know, Giannis signed a Supermax extension with the Milwaukee Bucks back in 2020 to the tune of 5 years, $228 million, which is well worth it considering he's a 2-time MVP, a Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time All-Defensive Team Player, 6-time All-NBA, 6-time All-Star. Look, you get the point. He's a superstar player, and superstars get paid handsomely in this league. So here's the thing, Giannis is not going to be leaving Milwaukee anytime soon. He's under contract, at least with what Milwaukee can control, until 2025, and what Giannis can control, given he has a player option on the final year of his deal, until 2026. And because it's Giannis, barring him demanding a trade, the Bucks aren't going to be moving him. Sure, maybe there are some outside circumstances where he suffers injuries, falls off dramatically in his play, and they look to trade him as a result, although if that were to happen, good luck finding a trade partner when you're making close to $50 million a year. But the point is, Giannis isn't leaving while he's under contract. He doesn't strike me as the type of player who would hold his team hostage and demand a trade if things weren't going well, and the Bucks aren't going to be getting rid of him. Giannis is currently 27 years old, in the peak of his prime, playing some of his best basketball, and to be honest, just continues to get better and better. I'm sure you've all seen the videos of his workouts where he's shooting corner threes and knocking them down at an impressive clip, which if Giannis does develop a true three-point shot, it's game over for the league. But he's in his prime, and by 2025, which is when he could become a free agent if he declines his player option, he's 30 years old. He'll be 31 if he opts in to play that full 5 years with Milwaukee before becoming a free agent. And I had a few people ask me when I was tweeting about these comments from Giannis, well, would we even want him at 31 years of age? Is he going to be the same type of player we see now? And the answer is 100% unequivocally yes. Yes, we do still want Giannis even at 30 or 31 years of age. Need I remind everyone that DeMar DeRozan is 32, actually just turned 33, and he had one of the best seasons of his career. Look at LeBron James. Dude is going to be 38 years old this year, and he's still one of the best players in the league. And sure, yes, there are some guys who fall off after they hit 30, but most superstar level athletes who are in peak condition have the longevity to play well into their 30s. Again, obviously a lot can happen, a lot can change between now and then. Could Giannis become an injury-prone player and maybe his value isn't the same when he's 30? Sure, that can happen, but based on what we have seen from Giannis, based on his conditioning, his physique, the style of game that he plays, he strikes me as the type of superstar player that is going to have a long, prosperous career. So yes, you want Giannis at the age of 31. Bulls fans been talking about how they want Kevin Durant, who is 34, who's had multiple injuries and is toxic in the locker room, but nah, Giannis will be too old by the time he's a free agent. That's the other thing I love about Giannis, because I really can't stand the Bucks as an organization, but Giannis is the ultimate team player, a great team leader, a fun-loving guy that is great for the locker room, unlike a lot of superstars who have massive egos and can be a distraction off the court. That just simply has not been the case in Giannis's career thus far. But look, I know we're taking a few words and running with them. Like I said, he just said maybe one day, who knows, maybe I'll play for Chicago. That could really mean nothing, and most likely will mean nothing, and he'll never actually be a Chicago Bull. The Bucks are going to do everything in their power to retain him for his career, and will have his bird rights to always be able to offer him the most money. But the point of all of this that I think is going to get overlooked is that you finally had a superstar player. Again, in my opinion, he's the best player in the league. You had a top player in the league state that they would love to come play in Chicago. And that just has not happened despite the Bulls being an iconic franchise that the greatest player of all time built. And it's funny because I made a video on this just a week ago when talking about DeMar DeRozan's podcast interview with Draymond Green, that he was trying to inherit the ghost of Michael Jordan at the United Center, and why that was so important for him to even mention that, because it plants the seed in other star players' heads to have this desire and motivation to want to come play into Chicago and bring a title back to the city and follow in Michael Jordan's footsteps. Up until now, you rarely hear of star players citing that they actually want to come play in Chicago, that they want to be that guy that brings the city a championship. And by Giannis now saying this, the best player in the league, and saying so because of what Michael Jordan did in making that franchise so legendary, is yet another seed that gets planted throughout the league that hopefully has other star players saying, maybe I would want to come play in Chicago too. One of the biggest markets in the league, one of the biggest sports cities in America, being the first to win a championship since Michael? Yeah, I'll take that. Maybe I'm being delusional. I think I am to an extent sometimes. We all are when it comes to our own teams. All I know is a few years ago, it was never a thought in my mind that we could even land a superstar unless we fell into one via the draft. And even then, we likely would have lost them when they actually became a free agent. But now I don't think the Bulls acquiring a superstar, a top 5 player in the league, is out of the question anymore. And we have to pay thanks to Michael Jordan, who, even to this day, is still helping out this Bulls team in many ways. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of Giannis and what he said. As always, be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan, as I do post daily Bulls content. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.